This is Richard back at you. Today we got Gary's 2500 HD in the house, all the way from Kansas, guys. 6L90, 410,000 miles, serviced regularly on a regular basis. 410, it don't lie, we got it wrote down. Unbelievable. So, but he's starting to have issues with it. We did some codes and stuff on it, got some electronic codes and stuff. So we know we're going to be putting a valve body, a new controller and stuff like that in there. So 410,000, that's hard to believe. Well, we got our load of our 6080, 6090 bell housings and pump stators. We tried to get 50 of them, but they wouldn't send us, ship us 50. But we got our 25 in. That ought to get us a few months down the road. So we're doing good there. We're excited to be able to get that because old Raymond over at TranStar over there, man, that guy takes care of us here for sure. So, am I walking up on you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But hey, we got our Instant Clean machine going, guys. I mean, I tell you, that thing is awesome. Let me tell you. We got Annie sleeping. Little girl, she's just hanging out again. Let me tell you. We got it nice and cool back here. I think it's 98 degrees or so in Amarillo right now. So we got Gary's 07 2500 in the house. We got his 6L90 right here. And we've already got some of the parts that we've got laid out that we're going to be putting in the unit. So we've got our TranStar complete overhaul kit that comes with all the clutches, the seals. We got a bushing kit from them. We got the kit comes with all the bonded pistons. We got a filter. We got a complete pump kit. And then we have our TransGo TCC kit. And then our TransGo boost valve and stuff kit right there. And then your TransGo kit, what I always like about these, they do come with quite good illustrations on assembly and stuff like that. So a really good help when you buy their kits. They're really knowledgeable on, so that's pretty cool. We got a bushing driver kit here that we use. It is a special bushing driver kit, a pump alignment tool here. So you got to have this stuff just to put these together. So, yep, we got our TCM here. The TCM is connected to your solenoid pack and stuff like that, so it's all in one unit. Once we get that in, we'll have it programmed, drive it, let it self-learn, stuff like that. It'll work really good. And then we'll put the old core back in the box because they want that back. So, and we don't blame them. So they'll rebuild it, and here pretty soon, new ones won't be around, and that's all we'll get is remanufactured. So we're going to get the tail housing off here. Now this is a two-wheel drive. Now a lot of these guys, you don't know this, but on the two-wheel drives, there is no rear case seal. Now if you look here in the kit, on the four-wheel drives, you will put a seal right here. But on the two-wheel drives, there is no seal. For one reason is they want pressure to come out of here and to lubricate this back bushing and the tail housing right here. So if you put a seal in here, this bushing is going to melt like crazy. I mean, and it's going to do it like right now. So that's why there is no seal in the back of these cases. Now four-wheel drive, you don't put a seal back here. It's going to pour out between the adapter. Could overfill the transfer case. It could do all kinds of stuff. So that is a must. And then of course a new bushing in your tail housing. You do have an O-ring right here, part of the seal. Now there is a difference between a 6L80, 6L90, and it's in the pan configuration and the length of the pan. The pan's a little bit longer on the 6L90, so different size tail housing bushing. Anyway, the 6L90 physically has a longer case here in the back, longer pan than the 6L80. So different rear seal in the tail housing. The 6L90 has a bigger seal. So now we're going to get over here and undo our lock that unlocks the case connector right here. I like to come in here and tap on it just a little bit, kind of loosen it up, and then I can grab a pair of pliers and kind of just give it a tug and pull it out. Now there's 3 seals on this. There's a square cut seal here and 2 round seals, so they do not want this thing to leak. So Get our detent spring loose for our park and reverse neutral drive. When you move your shifter, this is what you're feeling. Click, 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 click. That's what you're feeling. Now this is our park reverse neutral safety switch right here. I'm unplugging. Now this tranny had 0 metal in it, and I don't believe he serviced it before he brought it to us. So we're sure hoping that we don't have any type of pump failure, stator failure, anything like that. Now when you build this back though, you want to make sure you put that little lever right in there, that way it moves with it. I'm going to put that right back in that slot right there. And this thing here will turn over and go the other direction where there's no slot. So you got to be careful. Make sure you put it back right. Of course, we have our special bolts right through here. Ah, they're missing. Okay, that's kind of odd. This one and this one, I believe. Now this time here, we just had our regular 10mm bolts here that mounted the valve body here instead of our number 10 little hex torque socket looking there. So we just had regular 10mm. So now here we have our cased valve body seals. You always want to replace these. Anytime you take this valve body off for any type of maintenance or anything like that, you want to replace these. Now the kit, of course, will come with new ones, and then you have some down in here. But ooh, look at this, guys. We actually got one starting to blow right here. See that seal right there starting to blow? So we were starting to get definitely a pressure leak right there. I'll have to look and see what circuit that is to find out what leak that is, but we definitely got a seal blowing. That's why I tell you, always replace these seals, because we definitely start getting a leak right here on this one. So we could start having a clutch failure. That could be a lube circuit. It could be anything like that. So let's get in here and see if we have any check balls missing. See if it. Now those were 10mm, these are 8s here on the side. And then you'll have 7s. I still ain't got this ratchet broke in yet on getting the sockets off of it. I've been using the heck out of it. We have 7s here. Anytime we put one of these back on, we'll start all the bolts. And then what we'll do is these side bolts right here, we'll snug these down and pull it all the way this direction, but still give it enough looseness to where this will tighten down and move up and down, but still be flush. Torque all these down, then you tighten these two down last. Oops, I do that every time. I forget to unplug this thing. Now we got our output speed sensor and our front input speed sensor here. Plugs into your connector right here. Now you want to look at all these right here. Now we're replacing this piece. We'll send it back and let the Sonex or somebody rebuild this, whoever does it. So, but this part here will come in the kit. You'll get these here in the kit. If you're brave enough and you don't have any codes on this and you want to replace that stuff, go ahead. But if you got any codes at all, replace this. But in 410,000, I believe it needs to be replaced. So. All these bolts are the same size here on the bottom. bottom or top, however you want to call it. Come on. Really? Are you gonna fail me and I can't get that off there? Huh. I've been struggling with this one a little bit to get my sockets off and on, but I didn't really see anything wrong with it. But I ain't getting that one off for some reason. I don't want to mess my impact up, but I got to get to that 10 millimeter. So we're going to get back to the air, guys. So, okay, and we have a 10 millimeter bolt here, and we have our 7s here. Now all these are the same length here, but our 10 is longer. So, get these separated here. Okay. Now we're going to be doing some upgrades to the valve body here and put our Transgo TCC valves here. I'm going to clean this up, make sure there's no debris or anything like that in here. You're going to come over here and pull your plate off. Now this plate has bonded gaskets. Now you want to look for this little thing right here. Your shift kit's going to ask you about that. So read your shift kit really well before you start messing with this stuff. And you have your check bolts here. Got one here. Got one here. The one does not go there. You'll have one here, and one here. So they're all there anyway. That kind of mileage, so that's nice. Did I splash you, Teresa? No. Okay, we got our lockup O-ring right here we're going to take off. Of course, it just broke. I mean, it just, no more than I touched it with my screwdriver, it broke. And it's flat as a board on each side. So you know that seal wasn't sealing at all. So it's probably shrunk down into the groove right there. So, but you can tell it's square. There's no roundness to it, and it just broke real simple. So, now on these pumps here, the front seal physically has a snap ring that holds it in. Our bell housing bolts out of the way. Turn this over real quick. Now if you notice right here, this front seal you can put back in with your fingers. When you take it out, when we put the new ones back in, I just take my thumb, boink, pop it in there. It goes in that simple, and then you just put your snap ring back in there like that to hold it in. I don't know if it comes out that easy. I've never tried to pop it out that way, but now you have some cooler line seals here. Also, this keeps the dirt out. You change these. That is a plug right there that's not been opened yet. When you put your new cooler lines in there or your cooler line bypass valve, it will break them open. So your overhaul kit comes with new ones. It keeps fluid from getting everywhere, stuff like that. You have your bell housing to case O-ring. You have your thrust washer, your 3 sealing rings here. Now all three of these sealing rings have a rubber O-ring underneath of them. So when you take this off, like this, now depending on what type this is too, now this one doesn't. Now depending on what year too, you'll have sealing rings that lock, that doesn't spin. The drum has to spin around them. Now this sealing ring here, designed where the sealing ring spins in the stator and on the drum. So two different variations here. Now the shift kit will come with these rings in it. They'll be blue, and they'll be like a Teflon style ring. Won't be the hardened style. And then it'll also come with the locking rings that takes the rubber O-ring that does not spin. So I'm going to use this now. If this is my size, it's probably an 8. Yeah, it's an 8. Man, I got to get that off there. I don't know. Huh. Okay. I'm giving it up again. I tried. It's a little bit different using air. There's just that instant RPM is so much more. You got to get used to the trigger too, from electric to air too. So all your bolts are the same size here. You're going to pull your stator off and you're going to pray that it looks nice. I mean, you can see some shadow right through here. I have to take my gloves off and look at it better. But this one here, I mean, it feels like it's going to need a stator. So we got plenty of them out there to keep these vehicles going. Now you can tell here the converter was down into the pump gear pretty nice, the pump rotor. Now it could have gone a little bit farther, I think, where we could have spaced it. But it's still in there farther than most that I see. Get all your paddles, your O-rings. You're going to get your pump slide out of here. Now this isn't even a cone style spring, it's just a flat ended but single spring. I said they've changed these up a bunch too. You just never know until you pop it open and see what you're going to get. Now our new pump kit will come with everything here. Come with this Teflon ring. There's a rubber O-ring underneath of it. And then this right here, this slide has another O-ring right here and a little Teflon piece here that slides here in the housing. And then you want to check your pin out right here. Your slide pin. Pivot pin for any type of wear. What's crazy is you don't see wear on these anymore like you do the 4L60Es and stuff like that, and they mounted the spring to the end of it with a 4L60E. If you turn the pump over, you lose it. So that's still in good shape. But we want to get in here and look in here. So we got a lot of wear through here. I mean, you can just feel it in my gloves even. Yeah, so what's nice, we got that pump, them bell housings and stuff out there. We're going to keep on rolling here at Precision Transmissions. And that's what I like about it. That's why Raymond at Transtar called me and said, hey, you better start gathering some of these things up because you never know. I said, you're right. So, okay, we got our 3, 4, our 3rd, 5th, and reverse clutch here. Now you want to make sure, pull this out real quick. Now you can look here, we got some burnt frictions going on. So our 3rd, 5th, and reverse clutch here, we're definitely going to look for cracks. We want to look for all kinds of stuff. So now this drum here isn't being fed by this blown seal. Where'd it go? Here it is. You remember this blown seal right here? So we know this seal here didn't cause that problem because it's down in your lower suction. So we want to definitely air check this area, stuff like that, look and see what we got going on. Also, you want to look here, guys. If you notice this area here, I want to show you this. There's no snap ring groove over this one right here. See that? So if you put this snap ring in, back in over that like that, the snap ring's going to pop out. See? So you have to put it right there and like there. You cannot put any of the snap ring over this right there. If you do, the snap ring will pop right out. So there's no groove there. You got to remember that. Real critical. So we'll get down here and look at this clutch. Your first, second, third, fourth clutch right here. Looks pretty good still. Like I say, we'll put this all back together before I tear it plumb down. We'll air check everything, try to look for any type of cracks, air leaks, or anything like that in here, and try to find that source of why this got plugged up. Now this did have pressure codes and stuff like that too, so there could be a lot of reasons why this thing burned up. So you mainly want to get in and look at all your planets. Look at your gears for any type of wear on both sides, any thrust washer wear, any pin discoloring, stuff like that. And you have your little sun gear, same way. Now this will go in either direction. I like to try to keep it the direction I take it out, that way I put it back in. Then you have a bearing here with a thrust washer. Okay, and we have our fourth, fifth, and sixth clutch down here. I was expecting this to be burned up before I seen that big one burned up. Oop, we got a leak. Must have dropped it on my... Normally we see wear here on this clutch more than anything, not so much the big ones. But once we see a crack or something like that, then we always go to that drum and try to find our source why that clutch is burned up. That is a must. Same way here. Now this is your piston. Both of these pistons will come in your overhaul kit. Put your new bushing in here. Have our nice bushing installer. That way it puts it in the right depth. So that's what's nice about these bushings. They're all, most of them are inset. In other words, they're set below surface. And your bushing drivers that we use are designed to put them at the depth they need to be at. So if you look at any of our bushing drivers for this tranny, see how it's got a ledge right here. That's to put that bushing down in there at a below surface. Now if you look at this one, it doesn't have it. You can see the difference. See? So you got to have them, because if you try to use a standard bushing driver, you will damage these bushings. No matter, it will happen. You know, look at this really good. Look at your little bearing right here. This is a cute little bearing here. Scotch-brite your surface here. You want to look at this race right here because there's a bearing right here that it sets in. Get it out of there. There we go. It's a real funny looking bearing. Just looking for any pitting on the rollers and stuff like that. So that's why you gotta have a really good pair of glasses. Like, so I might not be able to see that, but when I go to clean it, I put my glasses on, I spot all that stuff. No bushings in here. You want to Scotch-brite both areas here and here really good. Look for any twisting. Look for any wear here where your clutches lock onto. This is the tough one. I don't know what it is about this one, guys, but this one here is I struggle with every time. But anyway, always put your new bushings in here. You'll have a bushing here that have angle cuts in it here, and then you'll have a dimple bushing here. Okay, and you notice the bushing is set down below surface, both of them. So my bushing driver is made that way to put them there. We'll look at the splines here. Scotch-brited up here and here. Really good here where the bushings run. Now this is, I'll show you here in a second. every time I put bushings in this square cut right here, it just seems like it never wants to go in this one bushing down here. So I just want to let you know, sometimes you can fight this bushing down in the bottom of the support. So. Come on. There we go. And then we got our big old snap ring out of there. Of course, we have a flat side here and a bevel side here. Always try to put it in where your opening isn't in a groove, in a slot here. Try to put it, you know, your opening's here. So you got to have that tool to get it out. I mean, that's a tough one to get out right there. And we have our 2/6 clutch here. Now you can air check this through these feed holes here, and you'll have some bleed off through these plugs right here because they have little orifices in them. So when you air check it, always come over here and put your finger here and find out which one's leaking and plug it off, air check it again, and then it'll air up tighter. So just letting you know, if you try to air check it through the case, you can hear air coming out of these if you don't air check it out of the case. So I think I said that right. But always keep your snap rings with your clutch packs. Every 2/6 clutch here. Starting to see some hot spots on the steels a little bit. I say he pulls a trailer with this too. So he does work it. Now he got in a plane and flew all the way back home. Get your bevel out of here like that. And you can get your piston out. Your bonded piston. Oh, look at the metal. Starting to see some metal right there. See that? It was all over that piston. I say metal just can store itself in odd places and stuff like that and never move again. It might lay there the life of the tranny on a break end or something. But you got these bushings here that you replace. They'll be flush. This one will be. The driver will put in flush. The driver will put this one in below surface. Two different bushings. You have your lower clutch here, low reverse clutch. See that there? Always keep your snap rings together. Like I'm saying, that's a must, guys. And then we have our Sprag assembly here. Got a thrush washer here. I'm not sure if I can get that out. Maybe I can. There we go. And then you have your Sprag assembly here. I've put it in a vise to take it apart. This is a dual cage Sprag. Here, it's a great big old Sprag. Don't ever see any failures here. But you want to take it apart, clean it, replace it. Do not push here. In other words, it tells you do not put your vise here to release that. You always want to push it on here, push it down, take the snap ring out, pull your piston Sprag off, change your piston, put it all back together, clean it up good. So. Big old monster planetary here. We got our case bearing back here. Now remember, all bearings are directional. You need to make sure you put these in right or wrong. So you got to be careful. You just can't throw it back down in there. You always want to make sure you put it the right direction. Because it's the little stuff that'll get you. Get that out of there. These snap rings don't have no tabs on them. That's weird. Get this thing out of there. There we go. Normally there's a little tab on these cut off right here so you can get a screwdriver behind them and pull them out, but it's just a flat. Any of them other ones had different styles, but yeah. Similar to that. See, just makes it easier. You can get a screwdriver in there and pop that snap ring out. Yeah. So if you want to, grind one in there. So the next build at 400,000 miles, he can get it out easier. Or 500,000. That's where mine's headed. So you mainly want to get in here too, and get in here and get all the metal out of these things. Even though there ain't metal in here, this tranny wasn't coated with metal. Believe me, it's got metal stored in cracks and crevices and everything like that. So you got this little spacer. It can go either direction. It doesn't matter. The snap ring goes either direction. Now this ring gear goes a certain direction. You have a flat and a bevel. The bevel goes in. Clean all the metal out of here. And this is where all the metal's stored at. A ton of metal down in here in all these splines. Okay. And when the tranny fails from converter failure, then there's even more metal down in there. So you have a bearing there, you have a bushing here. Now this ring gear right here too, it goes a certain direction. Flat on this side, beveled on this side, flat goes down. Look at your teeth, your splines here on both sides. Make sure ain't no wear there. Look at this big old beautiful planetary, guys. That's what we're going to be looking for. Any type of wear on your teeth, any type of color change, anything like that. Type of wear. Just have to clean this up because even though it has a little color to it, that's, you know, just some fluid laying on it, stuff like that. Now this gear here, if you notice, is a totally different color. It's probably made out of totally different metal from these gears here. No telling. So, oops. I didn't spray it, Teresa. And of course, we have our case pushing here in the back. I don't see any wear or anything like that on these cases when we get them in here. Pretty simple case. So, whew, I'm tired. How about you, Teresa? Yeah. You tired? But guys, we're gonna get this thing cleaned up, put back together, and get this gentleman on the road. Y'all don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again, Teresa, for a video, and definitely, y'all have a great day.